How's it going, guys? My name is Robbie and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to share with you the top 5 books that have had the most profoundly positive impacts on my life in the last few years, and then consequently had positive impacts on my real estate business. I'm going to link to all these books in the description below if you're interested in checking them out. Without further ado, let's get going. When I was young, I was a really big reader. I feel like a lot of people were, and at some point it falls off for most of us. I know how good reading can be for you, and I know how much you can learn from reading. And so a couple years ago, I set a goal to read more books. And to create the habit of reading more books, I knew that the first book I'd have to read, I'm going to call it my gateway book, needed to be something that I wouldn't want to put down so that I could create good habits. And then maybe after that, get into drier, textbook style, nonfiction, self-help, business, finance books after that. And so my gateway book, funny enough, was the Autobiography of Gucci Mane. And don't get me wrong, this book is fantastic, and I was right, I couldn't put it down. But it's not necessarily a book that's going to help you better your life in any significant way. I mean, Roger Davis or Gucci Mane's story is pretty awesome. If you're a fan of the music, then I would highly recommend you pick this up. But what I really should recommend is that you find yourself a gateway book. Reading is like anything. Once you've established the habit, it's downhill from there. So I recommend you find yourself a good gateway book, something that you know that you'll really enjoy, and then as you get good at sitting down often and reading, you can go into after that drier stuff, like I said before. So again, my gateway book was the Autobiography of Gucci Mane. It's number 1 on this list because it was my gateway book. I've been an avid reader since I read this book, and I'm really proud of that. So that's number 1. The next book is Extreme Ownership. This is probably in my top 3 favorite books of all time. I've read and or listened to it probably 4 times. A good leader owns everything in their world. Outside forces are never to blame. You shouldn't blame your boss. You shouldn't blame competitors. You shouldn't blame the economy. As a leader, the best thing to do in a situation that isn't going to plan is to look inward first. Look at yourself first. Try to blame yourself. In my opinion, there's no better mindset to adopt. This book can be a serious game changer for anybody that is about to find themselves in a leadership position or has already found themselves in a leadership position. As someone with a bachelor's degree in leadership, I can tell you that there's no greater bang for your buck as it pertains to leadership lessons than is right here in this book in less than 300 pages. Let me see. Well, a little over 300 pages. The authors, Jocko, Willink, and Leif Babin, were former Navy SEALs. They fought in the Battle of Ramadi. They take leadership lessons that they learn on the battlefield and apply them to business, and it's just a really good book, one that I go back to time and time again. I'm looking forward to that day. Make It Till You Make It is a book about the excuses that you tell yourself as to why you aren't creating the art that you want to create. This book has a special place on this list because without it, I'm not sure that I would be sitting right here in front of you recording YouTube videos. Making videos has been something that I've literally had dreams about for years and years and years. And this book pushed me in the right direction to making that a reality. I would say if you have no interest in art or creating anything, then maybe you could skip this one. But if there's always been something that you want to do on the side, whether it be playing an instrument or painting or writing or shooting videos, and you just for some reason just have a weird excuse as to why you can't do it, this is a 10 out of 10. I would highly recommend it. It's a short little book. You can read it in about an hour. It's 40 myths and truths about creating. It's 85 pages long. It's really, really fun to read. If, like I said, you're interested in art or making something besides your career, or you want to make art your career, but for some reason there's an excuse, I highly, highly recommend you pick this up. The next book on the list is The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. I don't agree with everything Dave Ramsey says, and I don't think you have to either. but for the most part, I believe that the guy knows what he's talking about. This book single-handedly changed the way I looked at money and finance forever. This, coupled with extreme ownership, I was able to take control of my financial situation and set myself up for a better future. I owe that to these books. I believe that everyone needs to learn the basics of money, you know, like the ones that you didn't get taught in school. When it comes to being a real estate agent or any 1099 worker for that matter, you know, planning financially is important. It's important for anybody, but especially for those people. You know, when it comes to 1099 people, you know, our employers don't help us save for retirement. You know, we have to come up with solutions to that stuff on our own. This book certainly can help you get on the right path. You know, whether you have $250,000 in student loan debt or you have $1 million in your checking account, I would bet that you could benefit from some of the lessons in this book. And last, we have Atomic Habits. The book helps you understand that, contrary to the popular belief that massive success requires massive action, the opposite is actually true. Basically, small, incremental, everyday routines like making your bed can, and in my experience, will compound into more positive changes over time. This book is a great one and one that I have come back to many times. So that's it. Those are the 5 books that have impacted my life the most positively in the last 5 years, and subsequently have impacted my business in a positive way as well. I would recommend that if you haven't visited any of these books, that you pick them up and check them out. That'll do it for me. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.